Sada, would you like a...
The best one to wear a striped sweater is all the time.
There we go.
My throat is so
in a minor key. So sad.
That's supposed to be the part where he's like, he's right up, and then he just the somber, it's the bridge.
Don't put it in your password just yet.
Bro, in like 11 o'clock at night.
Stop leaning back.
On a blacktop, we're in the same condition. Bro, we were in
I didn't have socks on.
Oh, we didn't have socks on. You just want to take that time? We were in the actual gym. Why? You got 2 points. Why? Dude, I was dashing on that. We're tied to the top. We're tied to it. I wouldn't let that happen. We need to no socks. No socks. Yeah, no socks.
I think I love your
We're tied 2-2. We're tied 2-2.
Dude, you're saying you wasn't even in the gym. Hey, you guys don't understand the fight.
Can that mic pick us all up?
right now.
Like, we're talking about
Is the mic pick us all up or just like you?
Okay, guys, so you'll have a long intro of a whole lot of nothing going on, but now it's time to focus up. So 4-3 is just about synthetic division. You did it last year in Algebra 2. If you have not done it last year, then make sure you tune in. It's not difficult. I'm going to walk you through the singular example I have, and then you're going to have time in class to work. Destiny, question?
Am I crazy or was it just shaking?
You're crazy.
No.
All right. So, I just stole a picture of what it looks like online. Okay. So we have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 5, and we're dividing it by x plus 3. So instead of going through the long division algorithm and putting the x plus 3 outside, then adding in our fraction bar and whatnot, and then putting that underneath it, and then doing all of that, right? We can do synthetic division. Synthetic division, you're going to set x plus 3 equal to 0, which gives us x equals negative 3. Are we okay with that? The negative 3 goes in this little box right here. Then we take the coefficients. If we are missing a coefficient, what do we need to do? Put a 0 as a placeholder. If we are missing a coefficient, put a 0 as a placeholder. Where are your notes at, Destiny? Oh, so we're actually on yesterday's. We're actually on the copy from Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, or from Thursday, I mean, actually. So we put in each of the coefficients. So we have a negative 3. Each of the coefficients comes in. Let me copy it over and then so I can write as we go and we can talk about it if you need clarification.
Are you informed that it's a whole week?
I have been informed by massive amounts of students inappropriately doing their work in my class instead of in their own class.
Ooh, roasted.
Okay. So, all right. So there is a 1. Lucas, are you familiar with synthetic division? Okay, Aaron? Okay. Take your hat off, please, sir. So there's a 1 right in front of there. That's where that comes from. So the first thing that goes on, guys, the first thing that goes on is the 1 drops down. The 1 drops down. So actually, I don't even know what these are for here. Oh, I see. So they dropped the 1 down in the first step, right? Then they did negative 3 times 1 and got negative 3. You remember that? No? So, the first step, Sada, is always just to drop the 1 down. Okay? So the 1's been dropped, then you do negative 3 times 1, you get negative 3. Then you add 4 and negative 3 and you get 1. Then you do negative 3 times 1, you get negative 3. You add negative 3 and negative 3, you get negative 6. Then you do negative 3 times negative 6, you get positive 18. Negative 5 plus 18, you get positive 13. This was your remainder right here.
So why did we use -3 again?
Right up here, it's divided by x plus 3. So we do x plus 3 equals 0, so x equals negative 3. Now what's left over? Do you remember what the leftover is called? This right here, this leftover here is called the depressed polynomial. The depressed polynomial. So we've dropped down by 1 power. We started at what power? X cubed. So now this is x squared. So this will be 1x squared if you want to see where it all comes from. Drop a power plus 1x. Drop a power minus 6. So that's from each of these items over here. No, it's plus 13 over x plus 3. If it were to equal 0, that means, if it were to equal 0, it means that x plus 3 is a factor of that. If it has a remainder, x plus 3 is not a factor. If it has no remainder, x plus 3 is a factor.
So the constant goes over the actual equation.
Goes over the divisor. Yes?
So you just drop a power, so like how you got the 1x squared, so because it started at x cubed, you go down 1.
Correct. Because think about what we're doing, Lucas. We're dividing x cubed by x. That gives us an x squared. Now, interestingly enough, this is also called synthetic substitution. What I could say is if this was f of x equals, which is the next line down below. I'll pause, actually. It looks like some people are still writing some stuff. Sing it, Amaya. I think if I grow my hair out, I can get this done.
Throw it out.
I like the grids.
Weave like that?
I like the grids. I'm looking at the lines, and I like those lines.
That number.
Are you thinking? You don't think I can pull it off?
No, I'm just shaking my head at Lucas.
What did I say?
I think you should just leave that alone, Lucas.
Okay. Anything? All right. So it looks like people have stopped writing. So right here. Oh, and I wrote that down. Haha, there it was, Lucas. It was right beneath it. I didn't realize I put that there already.
So, are we just taking the coefficient for x and putting that through?
Yes. So right here, I just wanted to point out synthetic substitution. Synthetic substitution says that if I want to know what is, if I had that long polynomial, f of x equals x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 5, instead of substituting in that number, then I can just do synthetic division to get the result. So like if I were to say if f of x equals that mess right there, f of x equals that whole mess right there, and I said what is f of 6? That means substitute 6, correct? But what's 6 cubed? A little lower. It's 2, the 2s. 216. Okay, you were. Okay, so 6 cubed is 216, so I'd have to do 216 plus 4 times 36 minus 3 times 6 minus 5. I really don't necessarily want to do that math. I'm sure you guys are like, I don't want to do any math, but if I were to say what is f of 6, actually let's make it even harder. Let's say if I said what is f of 7, right? 7 cubed makes our lives even harder. But if I were to just say 7 right here, then I'd get, and I put down my 1, 4, negative 3, negative 5. I get 1. Whoops. That number comes down. 7 times 1, 7. 11. 77. 74. Now I still end up with the multiplication I might not necessarily want to do. We have 490 plus 28, so that's 518. So we get 513. So if I can do this to get substitution as well. So if I what is f of 7? F of 7 is 513. Then I don't have to do 7 cubed plus 4 times 49 plus 3 minus 3 times 7 minus 5. I don't have to do any of that.
What does the 4, the 3, and the 5 have to do with this thing?
You add it.
I know, but what do you do with it?
Okay, so 1 times 7
This is, yeah.
is 4. Not 11. Yes, it is. It's 11. And then 11 times 7, 77. Plus negative 3. Do it?
All right. Guys, that's it. That's the lesson.
Oh. What do you do with the 5?
513? That is what f of 7 is. F of 7 is 513.
We can do a prior equations with that.
So substituting is the same,
Synthetic division does the same thing as a substitution.
except you just write 513 instead of doing
Right. Correct. Now, this is actually a sneak peek to later lessons. We're not actually, in your year turn, I'm not. In the year turn, I'm just going to ask you to do the divisions. And that's it. One of them is asking for the factors. But go ahead. Knock out the year turn 4-3. That is the entirety of the lesson today.